Hey guys, it's Chris Mincola with the Mincola Group over at West USA Realty, and I'm going to give you your weekly market update for the housing market here in the Phoenix metropolitan area. Again, this is hyper local for the Phoenix metropolitan area. That means Maricopa and Pinal County. Sometimes we run through these numbers. We have a lot of people ask a lot of questions. They hear things on other networks and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, they said that." Well, they're usually talking about national averages, or maybe they're talking about places like New York, Seattle, LA, whatever. We're talking about our area. So I don't get into a lot of the national stuff because it doesn't necessarily completely apply to what we're doing here. And we've got a totally different, even economic market than a lot of different places. So we've got 100,000 people a year moving here this past year. So a lot of people moving here, it's still affordable, a lot of tech jobs moving here, a lot of different businesses, a lot of different industries. We've got a lot of people coming here for the medical field. So, warm weather. So here we go. Let's run through the numbers for this week. So when we get into this, first of all, what I'm going to be talking about is cash versus finance sales. So how does that shake out? And who's buying the properties out there? Cash versus finance sales. Since we're in such a crazy market. So far for 2022, we got 26.2 cash buyers. And that sounds like a lot, but in 2021, we had some months where we were at 30%, which was the highest. Okay, so high, but it's gone down. And the lowest we've ever had is 15.2% in our market. That's the lowest we've ever had in our market in the past. So who's buying the home? So 64% are owner occupied. They're number one. 19% are investors. And just kind of compare a little bit, 8% was the number for investors in 2020. So we've got, reason why we've got more cash buyers now with those investors. And we usually pull from a network of investors, all kinds of different network of investors that we go with. And then we, can always present those cash offers to our sellers. So we're, not, we're certainly working with those people to kind of broker for our clients too, along with if they want to go and list on the MLS. If they want to skip the showings and stuff, we can certainly do that. But we work a lot with investors also. The other good thing is with the investors on those cash offers, or on some of the investor offers, you may not have all the contingencies they have to deal with. You may have inspections or you may not. You probably no showings. You may be able to do it with a video and some pictures. We're able to kind of get things closed faster, or maybe even go a little bit longer for you. Even do some post-possession stuff. So a little bit easier. So anyways, let's break this down a little bit more. So 13% would make up second home buyers. Okay, second home buyers. And in 2020, that number was 8%. So that number's up for second home buyers. That means people who maybe come here seasonally. And then we have 4%. 4% would be iBuyers. Zillow's not doing it anymore, but you used to have Zillow, you have OfferPad, some of these other companies. And we broker out with them too, because we want to make sure our clients are always looking at the best numbers possible when they're trying to sell their home and the best scenario for what fits their situation. Sometimes it's just easier and quicker just to get, a cash deal done versus try to get the highest and best by going on the MLS, because maybe you're trying to get into this particular home or particular community faster, or you've got dogs and cats and kids and you just don't want to have all that. So, and it's nice not to have any contingencies too, if we can always work that out. Some other numbers for you. Our CMI, we talk about this all the time, our CMI, Crawford Market Index, Crawford report. We get that sent to us all the time. It kind of gives us the guru package of everything that's going on in the market. They've been in this for decades. They know what's what in every type of economy possible and what that would look like as it shakes out in our housing economy and what to expect. So if we're at 100, we're in a balanced market, 90 buyer market, 90 or below buyer market. And if we're at 110 on the Crawford Market Index or CMI, we are then in a seller's market. Right now we're running at 455. Week over week, last week we're at 459, so down a little bit. Why? Increasing prices, people found houses, buyer fatigue, increasing interest rates. But again, like I spoke about last week and then before, unless we're getting way down into the weeds of maybe under 200 or 150, We're not really heading towards anything super quickly. We're not seeing any dramatic drops. So our demand, again, we're dealing with supply and demand like with any product, right? Our demand is at 109.2. That means we're at 9% above normal. Last week we're at 110. Maybe we've got a little bit of shift there because again, rates and prices going up. Supply is at 24. Supply is at 24 on the index. That means we're at 76% above, I'm sorry, 76% below normal. So our demand is 9% higher and 76 below normal in our supply. Okay, so we are seeing prices being driven up because there just isn't enough supply for all the demand. Okay, so why and why prices keep rising, and this other idea too about, well, in 2008 prices went up fast, so they burned, the bubble had a bubble and it fell apart then. But a little bit different setup. Again, some of the things I always mention and some new stuff. So more regulations than we had now, but one of the biggest things that we see now is people have tons of equity now. Even if you own a home just for a couple of years, you've got tons of equity, way more than we saw back then. Also, you've got a situation where back during that time, of that 2008 and before that, and all the way, through like 2015, up until even 2018, we had an overabundance of homes on the market. In other words, communities that maybe even were overbuilt already or just sitting there, and then people came in and took them over and finished them off. People that were trying to sell their home, relocate at the time, and then it just kind of fell off because of the situation with COVID and some of the slowdown there that occurred. So and other factors, but which I'll get to more in another video. But basically, we see the supply and demand is why the prices are rising. So right now we're at 28 days closed on market, 0.59. That's just over a half month supply. Again, a balanced market for that would be more like 3 to 4 months supply. A couple of weeks ago, we were actually over 1 month supply, which we hadn't been for quite a while. But we're now, last couple of weeks, or last week and this week, we've been kind of in that mid-range there of 0.59 month supply or half month supply. Absorption rate, pretty quickly, it's over 170%. We are at an average list price of 820,000 and some change, and we're at an average sales price, the actual sales price, we're at 557 and some change, 557 and some change. And the list price to sales price ratio, meaning how much your home's selling for over the list price, we're at 101.80 on that list to sales price ratio. So guys, that's it in a nutshell. If you have any questions at all, want to know more information about your particular community, your home value, or would like to know how to some ways that we could help you maybe purchase a home and you have some issues getting offers accepted or finding a house that works for you, give us a call, shoot us a text. We'll be able to help you with anything that has to do with home buying, selling, or if you want to refinance or do a cash out refi. My wife Cynthia and our son Andrew are also loan officers with Minor Home Lending, mortgage broker. So we can certainly help you broker out those deals and broker out any of these sort of real estate things that we've been talking about here. If you have any questions, 480-788-8569, McCulloughGroup.com, McCulloughHomes.com. We'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks.